Hey, Kat. Hey, Kat.
Good morning. How are you?
Great.
Nice. The three amigos. Yay.
Hey, good morning, the three amigos. And Don's in the waiting room, but I wanted to get you guys in here first.
Okay. He said he sent me an email. He's ready at 7:30, and I was like, we won't be there yet, but it's all good.
Right.
You can be early if you'd like.
Right.
I like to wait in the waiting room and like go and do my thing and then come back.
Yeah, I did that with the dog.
We'll call it the green room. He's in the green room.
Green room.
All right. So is everybody doing okay?
Yeah, doing fine.
Doing fine, feeling good.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. All the prep work is done. I think now we just let it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Good morning.
Good morning, Don.
Morning, Don.
And thank you for coming on early. I had a little problem last night with my program, so I want to make sure that that it works.
It seems fine. I do want to go ahead and make everybody already has. You're on top of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Don, you would hit the share screen.
Share screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then share.
Yeah.
And then I got to move this over. There we go. And,
yeah, so what you want to do is make sure you just pick just the tab that you want to share instead of the desktop.
this is the tab that I want to share.
Oh, that should be fine.
And then try that video.
Yeah, that's what I was having problems with last night. And so
it works. Okay.
Are you getting that okay?
Yes.
Yep, and the audio.
Yeah, so you're good.
Lovely.
So,
Dreaming about a green.
so what you should do though is, if you can, like have it all set up, have it, if you can, have it already in full screen mode, or at least queued up to where you want it.
Well, where is it now on your screen? What I'm seeing actually is, maybe 75% of the screen is the video, and
Oh, that's true. And then we're seeing it sort of framed by the Shenandoah Valley Rail exploratory partnership. That's probably fine.
okay. Good. All right. Well, we'll go with that. And I still need to move this over. Let's see here.
I assume that's you that I just let in, Jim.
James's iPad. That would be Jim. Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, Zachary. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone.
Yeah, morning. Morning, Heather.
Good morning.
Thank you all for being a little early. I really appreciate it. We're just testing out Don's PowerPoint real quick, but do y'all have any questions? Or pretty straightforward today. I'm grateful for y'all's time to be able to speak. I think it will be great for all of us in the outdoor recreation field. So
looking forward to it.
cool. All right, Don, and now I think you may have to unshare your screen now, just so that so we can kind of, yeah. Perfect.
Good.
Perfect. Thank you. All right.
All right, so instead of telling jokes, I'll ask a question. What's what's everybody's favorite state park in Virginia? And I'll call roll. According to my list, Brantley, you're up first. What's your favorite state park?
It's probably a practical answer. Is Pocahontas. It's where I spend most of my time.
Awesome. Kat?
Grayson Highlands is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I want to go do the circuit hike there. That's next on my to-do list. Yeah. Jim, what's your favorite state park?
Might be in listen only mode.
Yeah, possibly. Don, what's your favorite state park?
Oh, no doubt about it. It's the High Bridge Trail State Park in Farmville.
Yeah,
It's inspirational.
It's amazing. A very skinny but awesome state park. Heather, what's your favorite state park?
I think Dalford is one of my favorites, but like Brantley, I'm at Pocahontas all the time. So
Yeah, I love it. It's been my birthday at Dalford last year. I got right on the cabin at like 12:01 on January 1st, so had my pick. Hey, Wendy, good to see you.
Hey, sorry to be a second late.
No, you're not. What's your favorite state park?
I guess I have to say Pocahontas since that's the local.
Well, I love the spirit of supporting local places. Have I missed anybody? Don, what's your favorite state park?
You already asked me. It's
Okay.
Farmville, High Bridge Trail State Park.
All right, of course.
Don.
Yeah.
Kat stole my answer, so I'll do a self-serving one for TNC. I haven't been to it since it was officially open, but Clinch River State Park, I'll throw that out there.
So good to see you, and I'm glad you had the self-serving answer. I was thinking of going to that TNC property that's on 29. I believe it's in Amherst County or Nelson County. What should I check out when I'm there?
You'd have to remind me on the name of that property just because.
Yeah, let me see. I'll look it up and get back to you. Good.
Everybody feeling pretty good about the agenda. Pretty simple. We have like about 10 minutes each, and I think that would be inclusive of questions, and it gives us a little bit of time to give the co-chairs a few minutes for closing thoughts, and they'll be starting us up with probably a casual discussion about the American Recovery Plan money that was appropriated last month. I think I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of questions that come up in the chat at that time that maybe we could, if we have a couple of minutes, to uplift. Otherwise, we could get to them at the end. But I think certainly people are excited to hear about that. And from a trails perspective, there's certainly a lot of stuff developing at the federal level now. Who knows what'll happen? But I'm not as familiar with other outdoor issues in terms of like water or air, that kind of stuff. But I think certainly it'll be pretty casual. If you've never been to one of these meetings, it's definitely a group of friends. So definitely, if there's a silence, I think you can speak up, and feel free to use the chat too.
And I think we have around 51 people RSVP, so a good number.
Here's something that we've been doing in our meetings locally. I'm not sure how it would fit in, but one of the quirks of Zoom is that if you say something in the chat, like if we put something in the chat, people who join after we're here are not going to see that. So we like to do introductions in the chat, but we can't do it right at the top of the hour because folks who show up later won't see it. So I don't know. I mean, to the extent that we're not really running the meeting, we might let that go. On the other hand, if we're doing like opening housekeeping, or I could just put in the chat itself like 5 minutes in to have people introduce themselves in the chat. I think it's important for people to see and understand who's here.
Yeah, I like that too.
I think 5 minutes in sounds great, Peter.
Okay, so
And just even saying, introduce yourself in the chat and start yours, and then we'll all join in to show what to do.
right, perfect.
And have we talked about logistics? We have a couple slides to show, so sharing screens and that sort of thing.
Should be fine. Yeah, we've
Great.
already tested it out, but I'm sure
Okay.
you two will be able to do it,
Great.
And is everyone else in webinar mode, or can anyone else talk, or how's that working?
I think we need to make sure everyone mutes themselves.
So we're in a meeting, not a webinar. Is that okay?
That's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Looks like
Yeah.
the delegate, isn't it? There we go.
Mhm.
Joining in right on time.
Good morning, delegate.
Hey, good morning.
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 My esteemed co-host joined in yet?
Not yet. I don't
I
think
haven't
so.
seen him yet.
I think there's a Shenandoah time difference. It's like 15 minutes.
Easy.
I like that.
That must be my excuse.
Yeah, it's rush hour out here in the Shenandoah Valley, The stoplight is on yellow.
Well, it's the distance. The distance is what.
Oh, that's true.
Anybody getting out this weekend? Today's a little dreary, but it's supposed to get a little bit nicer.
We were just warming up with a discussion of our favorite state parks, and now I'm inspired to go somewhere. Maybe the Gracie Mountains if I have time to drive.
Yeah, don't go to Pocahontas. You don't get to do that. That's
Yeah.
too close.
Well, we have wonderful local parks too. You can
That one's
visit.
also one of my favorites. I use it probably 5 days a week.
And trails, of course. Bike and paddle.
Yeah, we finally got to the High Bridge 2 weekends ago,
Oh, yeah.
over the Labor Day weekend.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that was quite a view.
Yeah, it's
I could see a
amazing.
lot better than my wife. For some reason, they designed, I guess, the railings exactly at 5 feet, which is how tall she is. So she had to either squat down or get on her tippy toes.
That's
I had-
hilarious.
But she was safe. She was safe.
She was
by now.
very safe, very safe.
Who would have thought you'd have to bring a box to a state park to stand on? So Fortune's Cove is the name of that property on 29 that I want to check out this weekend.
That's what I was thinking it was, and I've only been there once, but I really did like it. It's a fun little, I think about a 5-mile loop through the whole thing.
Yeah, I've heard so many good things. I'm so excited to check it out.
Speaking of sort of a little bit of a divergent from the state park conversation, but I was thinking of this caucus. I think it would be wonderful if we were able to have him, but Senator Kane just did what he sort of described as his Virginia adventure triathlon, where over the course of a couple of years, he hiked the Appalachian Trail, he rode on a bicycle the full Blue Ridge, and then he just over the summer paddled the entire James River. I think it's like, he's a federal senator and he has that, like, I love that. Like, we give him a microphone. And certainly he's paid a visit to Don and Kim and to us on our trail project, which has been, what a blessing.
Yeah, it is a blessing. Especially his favorite, his thing when he said that it's not if, it's when for our project. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
We live by that too.
So Senator Hanger did join.
Good morning.
Good
There
morning,
you go.
Senator.
Morning, Emmett.
How y'all doing?
What the heck are you doing today?
Is commuting.
Well, I'm in Harrisonburg right now picking up materials, so I had to run through McDonald's so I would be wide awake for this.
We appreciate that. Oh,
Kind
my-
of jealous of the McDonald's right now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So. Let's see now. Good, good.
Senator, you're free to not answer the following question for political reasons, but for our icebreaker, we're asking everybody what's their favorite state park.
Oh, okay.
Poor man's put on the spot right away, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
As I say, it's okay to love them all.
I actually feel like it'd be easier to answer the question if I had a list in front of me. I just picked the one that like came to mind.
I think the one we've enjoyed the most and gone back to the most is Sky Meadow. That was.
Yeah.
What we do is we rank park systems by how lost you can get because their signage isn't great. What we've discovered is our state parks actually have the best signage, which is really nice. I won't rat out which system has the worst signage that has resulted in us going in many weird directions.
I think that's part of the experience, right? You're supposed to get a little bit lost.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely.
It's not the signage, it's the vastness.
Vastness, yeah. Well, when they blaze their trails with two shades of blue that are very similar.
Been there, yeah.
Cyan versus sky blue.
Mm.
No, I'm glad that's the question. I thought maybe you're going to ask me who won the debate last night. And
Well, the fact that you had to think about that, Emmett, that could get you in trouble.
No, that's a very subjective question. It's not fair, whereas the answer is very clear, which is the best state park. Nothing subjective about that one.
right.
Well, I think before we get started, I do want to give a special shout out to Jessica Bowser here, who many of you may know is like the queen of state parks. So I think that we'll be having her give an in-depth discussion about her experience. I hope I'm not letting the cat out of the bag, Jessica, visiting and maybe reviewing, even potentially rating all of the Virginia state parks. And so we can get a good prioritized list about where we should go.
Well, I rate them all A+. How's that?
Yeah.
That's not helpful at all.
Ooh. All right.
Well, so it's 8:02, so we should probably, people will begin to continue to trickle in, but we should probably go on and get started. I would recommend, if you are not a speaker or not speaking, to go on and mute yourself just in case, and so thank you for coming, and really I want to hand this off to Delegate Bulova and Senator Hanger to kind of give welcome remarks and just talk about kind of updates about the special session and American Rescue Plan, and really let y'all the co-chairs begin this program. So I'll let y'all
Sure.
speak.
I'll start, and then when Emmett gets through with his Egg McMuffin and his coffee, he can go ahead and join in. But good morning, everybody. What a great way to start the day. And it's always great to be here with my co-host, Senator Emmett Hanger. And so welcome everybody who's joining us for the online version of the Outdoor Recreation Caucus. I do want to thank Kat and Brantley for getting us organized today. They are super. I also see Missy Neff on there, and she's just been super instrumental to getting the Outdoor Recreation Caucus up and running, and has been a great partner in all of this. So our last one was a lot of fun. It was a great success, a neat way to catch up on everything that's going on throughout the Commonwealth when it comes to outdoor recreation. So I'm glad we're able to go ahead and do this again. And hopefully folks will be able to take this information and use it this weekend or one of these other great weekends coming up in the fall, because I think we got some fantastic weather coming up. As in the past, this is going to be a real lightning round of updates. I don't think any of our folks who are speaking have more than 10 minutes. So it's going to be a lot of information. And after each one, we'll go ahead and pause for any kind of questions. But we'll try to keep this ticking along so that we get out of here 8:45, 9 o'clock at the very latest, so everybody can go ahead and get on with the rest of their day. We were asked, and Emmett can join in a little about the special session that we went through to go ahead and allocate that ARPA money. So it was a lot of money, but as with any federal money, there's a lot of strings attached. And so we got some really great suggestions, both Emmett and I know a lot of our colleagues, about what we could do in terms of trails and parks and capital improvements. All that was a little bit limited in terms of what ARPA allows, because there had to be some kind of health and safety component. But we're really, really glad that we were able to get some money during the special session to our parks. And it's kind of that phenomena, and we've experienced it here in my household too, is that once we got kind of locked down, we all of a sudden realized how much deferred maintenance there was in our house, and it inspired us to go ahead and make some investments. And I think the same thing happened with our state parks. Folks wanted to get outside. They needed to do something different with their families, or just to get out there and clear their heads. And all that attention was really great, because it focused the fact that we had some deferred maintenance that we needed to do. And these are things that are health and safety related. And so they were ARPA oriented. And so we were able to get $25 million from ARPA to go to DCR specifically for state parks maintenance. So that's really, really good news. Emmett and I have been talking about kind of next steps, because while this is really good in terms of maintenance, there's a lot more maintenance that needs to be done. This is really just a drop in the bucket. But I also think equally as important is not just the maintenance part, the capital part, but also the operations. And do we have the operations funding in place to make sure that we're maximizing the experience of all of our residents of the Commonwealth of Virginia, so that they can enjoy the fantastic outdoor assets that we have. And so we have been getting some good feedback about how do we go ahead and do that. But we are working with appropriation staff to figure out how we can get some additional money for outdoor recreation and for our state parks. But I guess the bottom line is that your advocacy is important and it makes a difference. So keep those voices being heard. And I'm looking forward to the presentations today. Emmett, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yes, I'll add just a couple things here, Dave. And good morning, everyone. It's good to get together with you all virtually. Although I'm more excited about potentially, if things clear up a bit, us getting together in person and doing some fun stuff. That's what it's all about, getting out in our beautiful state and doing things, active things. So hopefully y'all are plotting and planning to do some of that, and certainly be glad to participate in some of that. Actually, the budgeting process has been good this year. David and I were both closely involved with that. And there was some direct, back during the winter months, a direct allocation to trails, as you're aware, but in the special session, as David indicated, 25 million just in general that it's out there. One of the good things right now that's happening is the funding that we have. The economy has been outperforming our estimates of where we wanted to be. Plus, with the federal money that's flowing in, we're in really good shape at the moment from a fiscal standpoint. So what that means is we can take care of education, public safety, healthcare, and then hopefully then have additional money to do the more important things like outdoor recreation. And I did have an opportunity. The Senate Finance Committee met earlier this week down in Abington, Southwest Virginia, and Cass was there. Cass Rasnick from the Office of Outdoor Recreation, and she gave a good update on generally where the office is headed in terms of attracting businesses that are associated with outdoor recreation and to stimulate the economy, particularly in the rural parts of the state. And that was good. So what I told her as she concluded her presentation was that she and Missy, and I think Missy's on the call, I don't know whether Cass is or not, have a little over 3 months to be up to some mischief. They're in a good spot there to get a bunch of money put in the governor's outgoing budget. So she indicated to me that she would conspire with Missy and y'all would get some stuff in there. And then maybe we can add some additional things if they leave a stone unturned. But again, thank y'all for this. I look forward to listening in on the rest of the presentations this morning, and I appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Emmett. And no pressure, Missy, at all, but it is always easier to have the stuff in the governor's introduced budget, right? And he can just go ahead and load it up with outdoor recreation stuff because he's walking away, and far be it from us to remove that. So, all right. Thank you, Emmett. All right, Kat and Brantley, I know we've got some great speakers and we got a great lineup. Did you want to go ahead and introduce our speaker or our first one?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you both so much. Very excited. And Missy, yeah, no pressure, but you know, there's 30 people staring at you, excited about natural resources and trails. So, so our next speaker is, they'll have exactly 10 minutes. Well, that includes Q&A. Will be Don Hinman from the Shenandoah Rail Trail group. And so, so Don, I'll let you take it away. You've already got it.
Yeah, hopefully so. Good morning, everybody. I get to talk for a few minutes about a really fun project, the Shenandoah Valley Rail Trail from Broadway to Front Royal, the 50-mile project. Let me at first show you where we are. We have 3 counties involved here, and Warren County is 60 miles from 6 million people in Washington, D.C. Over here by 11, that's Strasburg. And if you go down to Broadway, you're now in Harrisonburg. You'll notice on this little map that our trail parallels Interstate 81 and Interstate 66. But most importantly, our trail parallels the magnificently beautiful North Branch of the Shenandoah River. This map is really to just highlight the fact that we have 11 communities along this trail. This is an unused railroad, by the by, and we have mountains on both sides, and it's going to connect 3 counties and 11 towns. We have formed a partnership now with 18. I'm going to show you a video here in a couple of minutes that says it's only 16. But we've added Front Royal and Warren County at the suggestion of Norfolk Southern last year. So we now have 18 partners, a lot of skill sets and a lot of work is being done by a really fun group of folks to work with, and a tremendous local support. We also have some legislative support. Thank you, Senator Emmett Hanger, right here. He came out and spent the day with us, really, touring the trail for several hours. Tim Kaine also was able to visit us, and he famously said, it's not a matter, in front of these reporters, he famously said, it's not a matter of if, but when this trail gets done. So that's exciting. Our partnership has also developed several other things, a brochure. We developed with the help of the National Park Service, we got the services of Ursula Lemansky, a community organizer, and she tuned us into a grant for a video, which I'm going to attempt to show you Now, this is a 2.5-minute. It is outdated because it was finished a week before Norfolk Southern said, no, you got to go from Strasburg to Front Royal. So enjoy the short video.
We're dreaming about a green trail that's safe and peaceful.
The rail directly connects each of these small towns in Shenandoah County and northern Rockingham County.
Going from the Strasburg Museum, the old train station, down to Heritage Park in Broadway, you to be part of.
It's basically a lot of it is, of course, to get the owner of the rail to convert it over. They need to. We don't own it, and we don't have it.
It's not been used for more than 20 years. We'd like to put it back in service so that our communities are connected again. We formed a partnership of 10 communities, 2 counties, 2 planning districts, and 4 nonprofits.
Tom's Brook is part of my heritage. My grandparents were married in the church here, and my mom took the train here to Tom's Brook every day as a child as she came to visit her grandmother. The trestle behind me is part of the Tom's Brook landscape. It is part of our town seal, and it was key to make Tom's Brook one of the busiest towns in the county in the early 1900s.
This project has the ability to appeal to a wide range of people. The first thing you think of when you think of this project is the quality of life aspect, the exercise, the transportation, bike riding, walking, running that would come from this, but also the tourism and economic development would be huge.
The natural resources, the historical resources, the agriculture and the industry that's here, and for just health, just for walking and having the opportunity to be off of Route 11 and have a safe place to walk.
I think this would be a great project for the town of Woodstock and for other towns up and down the northern Shenandoah Valley.
It's not a done deal yet, and there's a lot of work to be done on this project.
If you'll talk, we'll listen.
Listen, we will. And this has been, everybody that's worked on this project has said this is a really fun project. Other things that the partnerships have done, we launched an outreach campaign to our 700 neighbors who live along the corridor. We've engaged the Conservation Fund, which is a nationally recognized organization with deep pockets to help us negotiate with Norfolk Southern. As a matter of fact, yesterday, they were talking with Norfolk Southern about our appraisal. We have hired an engineering firm that's agreeable to all the parties. And we raised $60,000 this past month from 3 county contributions and some private donors to pay for that. So that's engaging. And we've also commissioned 2 economic impacts. We needed the second one because we expanded to Front Royal. Based on this really sophisticated economic impact that's going to be printed and distributed next week, we anticipate that this trail will bring an additional 700,000 visitors to our 3 counties in 2030 and generate over $32 million in new spending. That's just wonderful news. And you know, we're very excited about that. Other things the General Assembly, thanks to our local legislators and from support from championship, really from Emmett Hanger, we got a feasibility study ordered. That's being coordinated by DCR and in particular Jennifer Wampler. She's been working tirelessly on this. She held 4 stakeholder listening sessions in early winter, and DCR also is teamed up with VDOT, and Brad Reed did a survey in May. This was just hit out of the park. This survey, we had over 9,000 folks respond to the survey with over 20,000 comments, and 94% of those folks say that they will, 1, will use the trail, and two, that this is the best use for this unused corridor. So we're very excited about that. VDOT also commissioned Baker Engineering to help with the feasibility study. That's going to really result in some very robust estimates of the cost for turning the bridges and the rail corridors into a safe green trail. VDOT and DCR also held a webinar in July that many of you may have caught. It's a 1-hour program that can be reviewed on the DCR website. That was just really very informative and exciting. This is my last slide. And the most important thing on this slide is not the ShenandoahRailTrail.org down at the bottom, but it's the people. Those people are regular human beings. They're not super athletes. They're not, they're not in spandex. They're not on $5,000 bicycles. They're your next door neighbors or your aunts and uncles. And that's our vision for what we want to see in our valley. We want to be able to have folks on a daily basis go to school, 3 square meals a day. Our species was meant to move and to be a little bit hungry. So I'm going to stop there, and if we have time, I'd be glad to take on any questions.
Hey, Don, thank you. That was a really fantastic overview, and it's exciting that you're making so much progress. 2 quick questions, and then we can open it up for a couple of minutes. So I guess when is the study supposed to be finished? And other than money, what are the major hurdles that have been identified so far?
We hope to send this finished economic impact study. Is that what you're referring to, or the feasibility study? The economic impact study will be done next week. The feasibility study will be done November 1st. As to the major hurdles, negotiating with $1 billion company is not in my skill set. So I look at that. I'm a bit intimidated by that, because they don't want to contribute. They don't want to donate the corridor, which is what happened down in Farmville. That 31 miles was donated. This is we have to purchase this. I don't think money's going to stop this project, though. I think I will ride on this project within the next 10 years.
Gotcha. And then my other question is I know this is going to be a linear type trail. What kind of focus is there on smaller loops as you go around? So that families who want to spend a day in a particular area can loop and integrate with some of the other resources.
Fantastic. This goes through the heart of Shenandoah Valley, and several times is close to and crosses the river. It goes by the new state parks and lots of Civil War stuff. It also, several of the towns are creating loops around their towns, bicycle loops and pedestrian loops. Woodstock is spending over $1 million this year on just that project. So I think this will be integrated with lots of different trails, including the Tuscarora hiking trail, which crosses it in Maurytown and connects really the Tuscarora to the Appalachian Trail. So there's a lot of interconnectivity, and of course the 11 communities. These folks, it goes by all the schools and the churches and factories. This is a way to get people moving and integrating again.
Great. If anybody else has a quick question, feel free to chime on in. All right, hearing none. Thank you, Don. That was great.
Thank you.
All right, Kat.
Yeah, Don, thank you so much. I love your energy and excitement for this trail. I think all of us should be sharing more information on our social medias, our website. We want to make sure people know about this awesome trail that will get built in the future. Next, we have Zachary Shelton from the Nature Conservancy, who's going to speak about a recent polling briefing. And so, Zach, I'll let you take it on.
Thanks, Kat, and good morning, everyone. I hate to follow up such an exciting project with a little more, not quite as exciting, that I still think is exciting. I want to just kind of give everyone an update or announcement. Yesterday morning, the Nature Conservancy, along with the Trust for Public Land and the Piedmont Environmental Council, we had commissioned a polling of Virginia voters earlier this year on their support for dedicating conservation funding for conservation here in Virginia. That was released yesterday, and I'll put in the chat the actual press release if people would like to look at this in more detail. But I'll give a quick summary of, as Missy said, the very exciting news. It found that nearly 8 in 10 Virginians, and this is across all geographical boundaries, demographic, race, gender, all Virginians are very supportive of dedicating up to $300 million for conservation programs here in Virginia, and that's additional funding. It goes across age, across party boundaries. Any way you split it, the support really stayed close to that 8 in 10, 7 in 10 Virginians supporting it. And perhaps what is also really, heartening to see in this, not only do, it's easy to say we support spending money, but this nearly that same 7 in 10 Virginians also supported paying additional taxes each year to support these things. And they also recognize the importance of conservation and connecting it to the economy, where they were polled specifically on a question asking, if investing in clean water, and they rated this highly, that investing in clean water and conservation of national areas and parks is important to Virginia's economy. And so seeing that connection and that recognition among Virginians is very heartening. Obviously all of us here, we all love the outdoors, we all love getting out there and recreating, and it's something that Virginians support, and it's something that we're looking at now at how do we take this public support and how do we actually find a proposal that can really help enhance Virginia's outdoor recreation opportunities. From a land trust perspective, we've played around with dedicated funding for many years now, but recently this year we've taken on, we've tried to build a much broader coalition, bringing in outdoor recreation and trails, more urban related conservation groups, and also consulting and talking with Virginia tribes to create to take this this idea of, yes, we want to spend more, but how do we spend it? What would be most effective? And already we're still working on all the details, but we've put, just from a land conservation and perspective, we have a proposal of almost 100 or a little over $120 million for specific programs that address a lot of the concerns and interests of Virginians. So that's just a very high level kind of run through of this polling. We're very excited to see the results, and we'll be having more information rolling out from this broader coalition on what we would like to do and our recommendations. I'll just leave it there and open it to questions. I know it's, like I said, I just ran through it very quickly, but.
Great, thank you for that overview. Anybody have any particular questions with respect to the poll? And generally good news, any surprises in there or things that you weren't expecting?
I mean, I think, and it's not really a surprise to those of us who love the outdoors, but I think sometimes maybe for the broader public, they might be a little surprised to see just how little difference there was among levels of support for this, no matter where you looked, whether, like I said, across geographic, across political boundaries, it was all very similar. And sometimes people like to, we all know that the outdoors and the environment, these are bipartisan things that all Virginians love, but it's nice to kind of have the numbers to back up and say, look, yes, when you ask everyone, they agree.
Great. And then what's been your rollout? I know I've been the subject of your rollout, but good information is only useful if it gets out to a lot of different folks who can take action. So kind of tell us about your strategy for that.
Yes, so as I said, just yesterday, as we finally were able to get the press release and the polling results out publicly. So those are now available. We're going to be trying to set up more individual meetings and broader presentations to both legislators. We also, we're trying to think of ways to really kind of highlight individual programs that could benefit from this and what those would, what those results would be. And so through kind of media campaigns and, as I mentioned, we have this coalition, and we're working on really kind of expanding their role, their branding, and that will really kind of take on the charge of them leading this. So this was just kind of the first step of finally getting these polling results out for the public so we can now share that and then get a broader campaign and push around that.
Great. All right.
Any other questions?
Perfect. Well, good,
Yeah.
good news. Thank you.
Awesome. I will say there's this great coalition working on new dedicated funding for natural resources and trails. And so if you're interested in getting involved, send me an email, kat@virginiacapitaltrail.org. It's a great coalition. So, and Zachary's been a part of that. Ellen has, and a lot of great people. So next we have a great presentation with Heather Barrara and Wendy Austin from the Friends of the Lower Appomattox River Trail. So take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Kat. I'll start. Wendy Austin, Exec Director of Friends of the Lower Appomattox River. Really pleased to be here with Heather Barrara, our Regional Trails Program Director, to tell you a little bit about our fantabulous trail. But first I'll start with FOLAR. We've been around for more than 20 years in the Tri-Cities region. We started as an all-volunteer grassroots organization, a program of our local Crater Planning District Commission. And now, after 20 years, we are a full independent 501c3 nonprofit organization with 2.5 staff. You got most of our office here today, but also many, many volunteers. And we are so pleased to have the support of our region in this project. Many of you probably have worked with and know our founders, Denny Morris, Richard Taylor, and Wayne Walton, some real local driven, passionate folks. And we are really pleased to stand on their shoulders and continue the effort of conserving and protecting the Lower Appomattox River. That is our mission: conserve and protect the Appomattox River for all to enjoy. So we want everyone to access and enjoy it. And we started focusing on the access through about 2015, 2016, through building the 25-mile-long Appomattox River Trail. Here's our map here. We dove right into the technical map of it, but it's a very complex project, and we are thrilled to be able to be moving it along with our communities, 6 communities along the trail, within the corridor, and our real focus has been a pathway to health, conservation, and prosperity. In our region, we have very low health outcomes, but we're fortunate to have the support of private foundations, health legacy foundations that understand the benefits, the health benefits of getting outside and being active and having access to these trails. So, and again, it's exciting to hear the metrics from Zachary, because what drove us to the trail development is that our community, all of our residents, said the highest priority for us when we did regional strategic planning, our community said is we want this trail built, we want to be connected, so they really have supported us. The trail is being guided by a 2017 master plan that we developed through a $100,000 grant from the Cameron Foundation. And FOLAR really acts as a backbone organization, connecting all these communities and partners. What we do is guide the vision and strategy, support the alignment around all these regions, and we also help bring funding and implementation of the trail. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Heather Barrara, as I said, our Director of Regional Trails Program, who has really led all this amazing implementation of the 25-mile trail.
Good, thanks, Wendy. I'm going to take you guys just on a quick tour of our trail system. As Wendy said, we go through 6 localities. We're just south of Richmond, and you can see we're a really good mix of urban and rural. We are a designated scenic river, and you can see from these pictures, we have both whitewater and a flatwater tidal river. So the Appomattox River Trail is both a greenway and a blueway system, developing that 25-mile land trail and also increasing our paddling access for those on the river. So really excited for this diversity of ecosystems and diversity of land uses that you will pass through on our river. As Don mentioned, of course, partnerships so important. So this is our partnership slide. Really, as Wendy said, just a mix of private foundations, state agencies, regional agencies, and of course at the bottom, our 6 localities and the support of the state. This support comes from resolutions of support, comprehensive planning, foundation funding, in-kind volunteer donations, right? So just a really, really big mix of funding, and with 2.5 staff, partnership is the only way we're going to get this done, and we're just so pleased to have all these partners at the table. I'm going to take you to the eastern entrance of the Appomattox River Trail, and that's in the city of Hopewell. Right here, we're at the confluence of where the Appomattox meets the James River. We have a national park site, the Petersburg National Battlefield. So just a great entrance to the system with a federal park and local parks. This is our Hopewell Riverwalk. This is won a Governor's Environmental Excellence Gold Award just last year. So very proud of this project, beautiful project. This tidal section, so the trail changes every time you use it. And we're so excited that we have fully funded an extension of this trail boardwalk, and you'll be able to connect 2 sections of Hopewell that really aren't walkable right now. That's under design right now and hope to be completed soon. Also in Hopewell, we have a full bike lane network coming to the entire city. So just some really great bike and pedestrian work happening in the city of Hopewell, as well as some land conservation work we just kicked off. We're going to move to the middle or the heart of the trail, which is in the city of Petersburg and historic Virginia State University. Again, just some beautiful whitewater rapids in this part of the trail, as well as that great urban fabric of the old town. And then really exciting to have a partner trail, the Fall Line Trail, intersecting right here in the middle of the Appomattox River Trail. Again, as we've been talking about, connectivity is just so exciting and so important. So if you're on the Appomattox River Trail in this region, you'll be able to get on the Fall Line Trail 42 miles up to the city of Richmond and all the way to Ashland. So really excited to have this intersection right here in the middle of the trail. And then we'll continue on west to what we're calling our Western Trail entrance, which is the localities of Dinwiddie and Chesterfield County. Really more of a rural feeling, beautiful, again, rocky rapids. And Wendy has some exciting news to share about how we're going to be revitalizing a park that has been a park since the early 1900s in our community. Really exciting.
Yeah, this park is amazing. And the region that it connects right there, the western part of Chesterfield, the northern part of Dinwiddie County, and the western side of the city of Petersburg, is an amazing rustic rural area, so close to, city of Richmond, that sort of thing. So yeah, we are so excited to announce that we did just receive a $1 million grant from our local Cameron Foundation in order to renovate this Ferndale Park, to improve 2 miles of trail, mile of old canal towpath will be improved, and that trail will lead to a bridge, a new pedestrian bicycle bridge we hope to build between Dinwiddie and Chesterfield County across the river to connect north and south. So all of that been a vision for many years for the community. So we are very excited to be able to start that project. The $1 million is an amazing start too. What we need is about another $9 million to finish all of that bridge, 140 acre park improvements, and the 2+ mile trail. So We're on our way to that through a recent $500,000 challenge grant from the Cabell Foundation in Richmond. $250,000 from the Cameron Foundation can be applied to that 500,000. And so we've got just 250,000 more to go to receive the whole amount of money. And of course, all that funding must come from the community. They want to be sure the community supports it, businesses and public entities and individuals. So that's our focus of work for the next year. And we have until December 22nd to raise that funding and begin improvements. So we're very excited to be able to start the planning, start discussion about land, the land use, and begin to bring this amazing project to reality with all of our partners. And shall I just talk a minute, although Heather has led all of this trail traffic work. We started it as a partnership with our health district, Crater Health District, and Delegate Bulova mentioned signage. I will say too that part of our planning, master planning, and previous funding came from Health Department to help us design a master plan for our signage, so that we know that one of the big barriers to getting out and being outdoors is feeling uncomfortable about where you are. So with the Health Department, we developed the signage, but also they funded automatic trail counters for us. So we have 7 in place right now at our trailheads along the 25-mile trail, 1 in each district. And you see here, we've got finally our first full year of data from that. And the data is collected monthly by volunteers. And so you see, we've got more than 210,000 trail counts over the last year. And that's pretty amazing. We sort of say our service area population is about 250,000. So that's getting to a lot of folks. And we are thrilled about that. Of course, with the pandemic, the counts went way up. And so we were pleased to have been able to have some safe and accessible trails for folks to access. You can see, you can access the full report on our website there. And again, Heather led it, so she may want to add something else.
No, I think that's great, Wendy. Just, as Zach was talking about, everyone talked about it, just having data is so important. So we are really excited to get this underway. And we also, like sports backers, lead a volunteer trail count effort. So actually this weekend, we have folks sitting on the trail, counting folks and getting those stories and that kind of data. So 2 kinds of trail count data to really support our efforts is just so important. It's a big lift, but it's something we definitely recommend everyone get out there and do. And of course, this feeds to the VDOT system. So, we're all working together across those agencies to make sure our data is getting out there to the public and getting out to our users. And I think that is all we have. Just one final picture of, this is again in Petersburg. These historic trail trestles will be the pedestrian and bicycle bridge for the Fall Line Trail and the Appomattox River Trail, connecting Petersburg to the campus of Virginia State University. So just leaving you with this amazing view of our river.
Thank you. Yeah, we're thrilled to be able to bring information about our trail to you all. Thanks so much.
Great. Thank you, Heather and Wendy. A lot of great partners in that project and a lot of exciting work going on. Anybody have any questions or comments on this particular project?
I have one question. So Wendy, you mentioned that your funders want to see a demonstration of public support. What does that look like?
Yes, that looks like actively supporting in terms of membership. And of course, because we're working through this challenge grant, they want half of the funding raised must be through public and regional funding. It can't be from private, it's private foundations. So they're looking for individual and business kind of support like that, fund support, and definitely the membership showing and volunteer numbers similar to the metrics of Zach shows people supporting. They want to see metrics of our local folks, residents supporting.
All right, any other thoughts or questions? All right, Kat and Brantley, I think that wraps it up for our speakers, doesn't it? Okay. I guess this comes to the point where Emmett and I can go ahead and close things out. I did want to just mention and recognize for everybody who hadn't heard the passing of somebody that I consider to be one of my inspirations and mentors when it comes to conservation, and particularly with the Chesapeake Bay, and that's former delegate and Secretary of Natural Resources, Tayloe Murphy. And so he passed away, I believe it was the day before last, but just an incredible individual who gave his whole heart and soul to the Virginia conservation movement. And so I just wanted to recognize him and to ask everybody to keep his family in their thoughts. But he was just an incredible person. Believe it or not, session is only, I counted it up, 17 short weeks away. So we got some exciting work to go ahead and get accomplished. As Emmett mentioned, we do have a budget surplus this year. Now, a lot of that is already spoken for. The good news is a lot of it's spoken for in that it's already going into the Water Quality Improvement Fund. But we do have a rare opportunity where we are looking at additional resources as opposed to cutting resources. And we want to make sure that outdoor recreation and trails and parks are in the front of people's minds as we go into those budget conversations. And also, as always, I do want to thank Kat and Brantley for putting this together. If anybody has ideas for what would make for cool presentations, again, the Outdoor Recreation Caucus is all of us. We would love to be able to get your ideas, and we'll go ahead and work really hard, or Kat and Brantley will work really hard to go ahead and get some fantastic speakers. That helps to go ahead and set the stage for a wonderful morning like this. Emmett, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Just, to observe great presentations this morning. I really enjoyed them. First, of course, the rail project here in the valley is something that's very close to me, and I really appreciate on that when we made a request to the Secretary of Transportation to allow VDOT to get involved. Stanton District Engineer really jumped on board with that, and so that project is really coming along. And as Don, I'm hoping we get that thing done while I can still ride a bicycle. So I'm looking forward to that. Nature Conservancy, I think you and I had an opportunity to participate with their press release on that. The Nature Conservancy had a big win this week with the acquisition of a huge tract of land. I just want to observe that. Couple 100,000 of it in Virginia, I believe, and so they're doing good stuff. That was a good presentation. Appomattox River Trail, they are doing tremendous things down there. I remember back in 2016, Richard Taylor, who was and probably still is very active with that, asked me to stick $100,000 in the budget. Well, had the opportunity to do that working with Riley Ingram. And it's amazing how they've leveraged all the monies down there. There's a lot of local support for that. A beautiful project. So I'm excited about that. I want to get down there and get on that trail. So at any rate, thanks to all the presenters, and I'm hoping we can do some of this stuff in person in the not too distant future.
Yep, and Brantley went ahead and put that into the poll, which is that if we were able to have an in-person meeting at a Virginia State Park, where should we go ahead and meet? And so we've got a vote for Mason Neck, Pocahontas, Douthit, and Caledon as well. So if folks have ideas, please go ahead and throw them in there, because as Emmett said, we would love to be able to do an in-person meeting so we can do the heavy business of the Outdoor Recreation Caucus and then unwind actually getting out for a hike or out on the water.
Yeah, and David, on that point, I've got a lot of favorite parks, but One of them that's going to be one of my favorites, and this is for Missy, in particular this morning, as you're developing the budget in the capital budget. If Platt is ready with the master planning up there far enough, I'd like to see a chunk of money put in capital to go ahead and build our new state park up close to Harper's Ferry. I think that would be a wildly attended park if we can put that in place from all you folks in Northern Virginia.
Bravo. All right, Missy, one more thing to add to your to-do list. All right, Kat, Brantley, any final words for the good of the order?
I think that's it. Just also want to thank Peter Krebs for also helping co-organize this, and I'm really grateful for everyone's time. Really love getting together and sharing ideas and learning from each other. And so let's try to shoot for an in-person meeting. So I'd love to do that in the future.
Perfect. All right, everybody stay safe and enjoy, and we'll see you at the next Outdoor Recreation Caucus meeting.
Thanks.
Have a great morning, everyone.
Thank you, Kat. Peter. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Don. Great job.
Oh, well, thank you. That was a great opportunity for us, and you created it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anything I can do, that's the goal. So thank you.
I love you. Have a good day, everybody.
You too. Thanks, Don. All right, Peter, I'm gonna hop off. We'll talk later, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, Kat. That was super fun. Have a
No,
good
thank
weekend.
you.
Yeah.
Thanks for your support in the back end with the technology. It's really good to know that you're there. So thank you.
Oh, good. Yeah. Awesome. Well, have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Take care.
Yep.
Kat, I wish we had done a presentation for the Eastern Shore Rail Trail. I kind of got in on this at the last moment, but it would have been a great time to give us some visibility at the state level. But yeah, I think we kid over here that no one knows we're part of Virginia on the Eastern Shore.
I think maybe the next one. I already have a list of people who've reached out, and so would love to put you on the next one. I think that'd be wonderful.
That'd be great. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. All right. Thank you. Take care.
All right.
See you later.
Bye.